So, Laura, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever found yourself in a need to persevere?
No, every day. Every day is a need to persevere, but putting it into why don't we go through what everyone's going through right now? Due to the pandemic, everyone had to stay home. Everyone was quarantined. Everything was limited. As a teacher, that was a very difficult task to obtain. And it was something that we knew we had to persevere through. It was, and it wasn't just about, let's just get it over and done with, especially in my area of special education. It's more like persevere to make sure that your students have the best education no matter where they are. And trying to fulfill that online was a huge challenge. But I think the perseverance of wanting to be better, wanting to do better, wanting to kind of stand out from the midst of the crowd, and not in the way of like, oh, look at me, look at everything I'm doing, but more so my focus were my students, trying to make sure that they were getting stuff. And yes, there were very challenging moments where it was like, hello, hi, still,
We're still online.
We're still in school. But having that perseverance, not just as a teacher, but as a mother, as working from home with my family, having so many things going on, and then knowing that there was something, I guess you could say, like something good was going to come out of it. Knowing that something good was going to come out of it, even in the midst of what was happening in the world and what was going on around you. I think that's very important, that no matter what happens or the circumstances that surround you, when you persevere, you are persevering not for the sake of that, but for the sake of what's to come through your perseverance. And I think that perseverance through whatever challenge, whatever season you are in your life, helps you learn something to overcome to the next challenge. I don't know if I
That
made sense.
made perfect sense to me. But I've lived with you for 20 years of my life, so I don't know about them, but it made sense to me. No, it made perfect sense to everybody, I'm sure. But the way you said it, though, it's so cool because when we went into this, if you guys remember, we were like kind of in spring break, so everybody's like, we'll just when we get back, maybe we'll deal with this for 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden it became the whole semester. So what was like, we could do this, it all of a sudden became a real need to persevere, because we have to understand that there is a quote-unquote when we need to persevere, okay? And when we need to persevere are in times of difficulty and in times of apparent delay. That's when we need to persevere. And this is a key value that if you grab this for your life, it's applicable to every area. We have to learn to persevere in times of difficulty. Like the story you're talking about when, it wasn't just you, because you just happened to be a teacher online, but you still had your kids at home who were learning online together with your husband at home who was trying to get some stuff home online. And there's people here who are living the same challenge online, and the life being disrupted. The dynamic of the disruption.
And everything changing, and
absolutely,
you having to persevere through all of it, because it's not just your business, it's not just your work, it's your family, it's everything. And I think that's why I said that no matter the circumstances around you, when you persevere, you are basically overcoming those challenges. You're overcoming what the world is saying is trouble and what the world is saying you can't do. You are stepping up to do.
Absolutely. And so to go back to the difficult, when the world's telling you can't do it, you got to get it done. Again, we're talking about difficult situations. So when do we need to persevere? In difficulty, when we've come to the end of our rope. Have you ever got to the place where you have crazy eyes? Our cameraman, you guys can't see him behind the scenes, Joe. He's like, I get crazy. Where one's going like this, and you can't handle it anymore because it's just so much on you. You get that place where you're at wit's end, so to speak, at the end of your rope. How can I say this? Sometimes we feel like we can't continue. And that's when that perseverance button, that perseverance value, I should say, kicks in. You know, it's funny because I don't ask me why, but this morning I woke up with that song from Sister Act in my head. Okay, and it's not a Sister Act song. It's a song where they say, "Come on, you know, I'm not gonna do it any justice. You guys are gonna help me out here." Okay, it's the one where there's ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no river wide enough. You know, come on. Yeah, I didn't do it. Oh, Maestro behind the keys, bringing it home. Max, the maestro. Y'all didn't know that's Max, the maestro. Come on, give me girls. Oh, you like how we did that? No. I need a little side to side though. Come on. If you're at home, do it. Come on. Come on. Keep on going. I was just getting into it. No, but the whole point is, no, that's it. We'll cut it there. But you know, the way they did it in the movie was there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from you. Right? God, you like that? You didn't know I could do that. Okay. To keep us from God, from God's love. That wasn't a Christian song, but they sung it in the context of a Christian message, and I thought it was so important. But this morning, as I'm getting up, waking up, and it's like God's impressing this song upon me because He's saying, tell my people they've been in a time of perseverance where they've wanted to get past the mountain, but they're stuck at the pebbles.
Wow.
They wanted to swim across the river, but they're stuck at the puddle. That was the phrase that God gave me this morning. People have been trying to get over the mountain, but they're stuck at the pebbles. People have been trying to get across the river, but they're stuck at the puddle. Okay? I want to tell you right now that there is no mountain high enough. There is no river wide enough that could keep us from getting to God's love. Maestro, help me on the keys right now. We're coming in early. No, not with, oh, you know what? Do it again one time. Come on. Let's do it. That's what happens when you give them freeway. Let's go. Come on. Sing it. I want to minister to you really quick with this song. Come on, girls, sing it up. To keep me from getting to you. Come on, but don't.
Ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from you.
From who? God.
Ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from you.
From who? God. All right, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. CD's coming out next week. Anyway, the single. Guys, I want to share with you, man, we need perseverance in times of difficulty and in times of apparent delay. It's time to get past being stuck at the pebbles. It's time to get past being stuck at the puddle because God wants you to get to places. But it has to come by remaining in the grind towards your God-given goal. That's what perseverance is. Now, some of you guys say, well, I've been grinding, Pastor. I've been doing this for a long time, and I feel like I can't do it anymore. Well, I got to tell you, that's exactly when you need to take on to this core value, perseverance, because it is also in the times of apparent delay. 2 Peter puts it this way, that the Lord is not slow in keeping His promise, as some understand slowness. Instead, He is patient with you, not wanting anyone to perish, but everyone to come to repentance. This verse, the context is salvation, but the principle is that God is patient towards us, knowing that we've got to get done what we need to get done. And oftentimes, what we need to get done is persevere. So many times we've tried something, didn't get it on the first go around. We got to persevere. We started a business, didn't work out. We got to start the grind back up. We got in a relationship, it didn't work out. We got to grind once again. A marriage doesn't look like we expected it to look. It's time to persevere. Your relationship with God is not where you want it to be. Because of the distractions, because of the delays, I got to tell you that God is patient with you, expecting you to get to the promises. Why? We got to remember the why we started the thing we started to endure. Hebrews 6 puts it this way. He says, but beloved, we are confident of better things. Laura said it in her sharing, in the story that she was sharing, that it's not just about persevering for the sake of persevering. It's persevering to be able to get to a better result, to get to a better goal. And Hebrews 6 says, but beloved, we are confident. Here at Thrive, we align with this statement from the scriptures for your life. We are confident that there are better things concerning you. Yes, things that accompany salvation. I want to tell you, what are the promises? We said that through faith and perseverance, we inherit the promises. What are the promises? The promises of God begin with salvation, but it just tells us that there are better things that accompany salvation as well. The promises that God has for your lives are salvation, redemption, but also better things. Better things in your life, better moments in your relationships, better feels when you're not feeling right. There are better things for you that God has in store for you. So you got to recognize this, okay? When you find the need, or you ask yourself, how do I persevere now? Remember the why and recognize the process. Recognize the progress that you've gone through. Let the setbacks behind. Let those remain in the past, okay? The Apostle Paul said, I forget what lies behind and I strive towards the goal. If you want to persevere, leave stuff in the past and recognize the progress. Look at the little things that are going on. Look at the things that are coming to pass and keep the focus clear. You got to keep the focus clear. What is the focus of your perseverance? You got to focus on what's right. And you got to focus on God's unique calling and purpose for your life. That's what we believe here at Thrive. We believe that everybody has a unique calling and unique purpose. And as we fulfill our unique calling and our unique purpose, which we also call our assignment, as we fulfill our assignment, as I fulfill my assignment as a pastor here at Thrive, those that are with us can fulfill their assignment in their areas of lives. As I fulfill my assignment as a husband to my wife, I enable her to thrive. As I fulfill my assignment as a father to my children, I allow my children to thrive. See, these are unique assignments, unique callings, and we all need to understand that God has a unique calling over your life.